Hello and welcome back to PMDD with C. I really hope you're looking after yourself. I really do. So thank you so much for viewing this video. I thought I would try and make the video more aesthetically pleasing for you to look at by putting some slapping red lipstick all over my face. But it's just not working. I've come back from a jog and I managed to jog 4 and a bit K today, but I did walk and then jog and then walk and then jog. But already I feel amazing from it. Like, you know when you get really tired from exercise, but it's like the good tired. I feel like that, but I can also feel like in my legs just a really nice tingling feeling, if that makes sense. So I think, you know, definitely getting back on the jogging train is making me feel a lot better. And I'll keep you updated with the whole exercise thing. I've also been researching food as well that's supposed to help. I remember I did do this before when I was looking into PMDD, when I first discovered that, you know, it's something that I have. And I've just, you know, life takes over, doesn't it? And you suddenly fall back into like bad habits, and instead of eating healthily and having like 3 Brazil nuts a day, a handful of walnuts, eating your lentils, eating corn, which is supposed to help, complex carbohydrate, I slipped into, I just get a quick pizza, I just eat this really unhealthy food, I'm not going to jog today. And then suddenly my mental health slips as well. So it's really easy to do that. So in this video, I wanted to talk about a video that I watched on YouTube today, and it is the best video that I've watched about PMDD so far. It's quite scientific, but I've learned a lot from it. So if you wanted to check it out, I'm going to leave it in the description box, or if you wanted to search for it, it's on a YouTube channel called Aware. And it's, just type in Aware and then PMDD and that will come up. It's 1 hour long and it's very scientific, but I think the more scientific the better, because if we really all just try and understand what is happening in our bodies, to the tiny minuscule reactions that are happening, I think it really does help us explain what we have, rationalize it. That's my opinion anyway. Let me know your thoughts. So I'm going to tell you what I found interesting about this video, and scary also. There are a few things in there that I kind of already assumed would be the case, but it was confirmed. So let's get into it, shall we? So PMDD, postnatal depression, and perimenopausal depression are interrelated. And that might seem obvious, but for some it might not. So I thought I would highlight that. And we, us PMDD sufferers, are more at risk from postnatal depression and perimenopausal depression. And I already made that link in my head a long time ago. I always thought, if I had a baby, I haven't had a baby or anything, or started a family, I always thought, because of my intolerance to some of the pills, and because of the way that I react with my period, I always thought, I'm scared about having a child, because if I react like this now, then what are my hormones going to be doing after giving birth? Because I know everything kind of balances itself out when you're pregnant. Nothing's going up and down, there's no fluctuations, or but please correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't had a baby, so I'm just going by what I've heard. And then it's obviously after the fluctuations happen, don't they? So yeah, that's scary. So the man in the video, I think he was a psychologist, I'm not too sure if he was a doctor. Anyway, check it out. He went into the theory of PMDD. So the general consensus is that PMDD isn't about having abnormal levels of certain hormones in you. It's about the abnormal psychological response to the fluctuation in the hormones. That's the theory at the moment, and I thought that was really interesting. So it's not, apparently we don't have abnormal levels of estrogen or whatnot in us, it's the fluctuations that cause an abnormal response. And I thought that was very, very interesting as well. There was another interesting thing that I found out in this video. I also read this in the PMDD phenomenon book that I've mentioned in my previous videos. There is a pill called Yaz that can be prescribed for people who have PMDD. I'm not too familiar with this. It's spelled Y-A-Z. So if you have had experience of taking this pill, do let me know in the comments. I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts on that. I'm not too sure if doctors, when they prescribe the pill, ask if you have PMDD. I don't know if that's a thing these days. For me personally, I don't go anywhere near the contraceptive pill after having 2 very bad experiences on it. It's just absolutely terrified me, and I don't want to kind of experiment with new pills just in case I have that experience again. But if you have tried Yaz, I'd really love to hear from you to see if it helped with your PMDD symptoms, or did it cause a reaction in you like microgynon did for me. It is so terrifying. I just won't go near the pills anymore. But again, I'm not advocating for not taking any medication. I always say whatever works for you, do it. Like, yeah. And at the end of this video, he goes through some ways of trying to manage PMDD. He talks through, you know, the medication, but he also talks through lifestyle changes. And lifestyle changes resonate with me the most because I'm absolutely terrified about experimenting with medication, as I've just said. So we spoke about aerobic exercise, you know, spin classes, jogging like I've mentioned before, and also eating the right foods. It is a no-brainer, but I know sometimes our busy lives get the better of us, don't they? And we work long hours, drink lots of coffee and eat lots of shit. But for me, I am really going through the lifestyle way of managing it. As I said before, I think jogging and aerobic exercise really helps me, but I've got to do it all like constantly. Which again, like if I ever go back to working in an office, I'm working from home permanently at the moment, but if I ever go back to working in an office, I fear that I won't be able to keep up with that, like many of us lovely working women. And my PMDD symptoms will come back. So yeah, let's see how long I can sustain this for, and I'll keep you posted with that. But as for food, he mentioned corn, like popcorn, like corn on the cob. That's a complex carbohydrate, and it apparently helps boost the production of serotonin, or something like that. Please don't quote me word for word here, because I'm still learning and I'm still researching. But I thought I, you know, would share it with you and share the journey with you. So I went out and bought a lot of corn, but yeah, also other things, just like eating a selection of nuts and lentils and just the good mood food as well. I'm getting back into, because I've slipped majorly in the food department too. But I really recommend you watch this video. It's an hour long. It gets it drags a bit at the beginning, but it's tremendously interesting. I don't think I've ever used that word tremendously before. Tremendously interesting. Really explains it, linked it to, you know, postnatal depression and perimenopausal depression, and he's just very good at articulating PMDD. I think he studied it for a while as well, and he's very reassuring and not patronising in the slightest. So I highly recommend you go and watch that video right now, and I will see you in the next one.